Welcome to Yep Yeah Yes with Marissa and Tamika. Today we're going to be talking about the Long Island race divide. Uh, but first, Marissa, how are you?
Fantastic. Yourself?
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
How are you?
I'm good. So, the Long Island race divide is basically a play on the new article and I guess like a project that Newsday did, uh, and they published it in their paper on the 17th. Newsday is a Long Island newspaper for those of you that don't know, don't live around here. So the article is called Long Island Divide, and they basically did a 3-year investigation on Long Island's housing market and making sure that they were adhering to the fair housing law that was enacted years ago. It was very, very telling. Um, it's like one of those things. Like I grew up where my mom always told me about segregation on Long Island, and you know, when you're a minority like the two of us, you can see it. People say things, and well, I'm just joking, but it's like one of those things. But you can never prove it when it comes to true discrimination with businesses and practices where other people of the fairer skin typically are supposed to get the same kind of treatment. But you don't know until something like this, Newsday, does an investigation on housing. Did you get a chance to look at the video, documentary, read anything?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I just want to say, like with anything, there's bad apples everywhere. Not everyone is like that. There's bad apples everywhere. But it's a sad reality when it's like proof is right there, right in front of you. Like it hurts. It's a hurtful thing to see, and you don't know how many people were susceptible to this. Are not susceptible. I think that has not the connotation I'm looking for. I'm thinking more of like that were targeted by these individuals who think this way. What did you think?
I thought it was very sad, and I don't know. Obviously, not everybody's not like this.
Right.
I mean, I know you mentioned it, but I don't think it needs to be mentioned because it's like whatever. These mofos, they're mofos that are like this, and the people that were on this video,
Right.
It's like normal for them. They were talking like this is the everyday thing.
Well, let's give backstory on the video. The
Okay.
video.
Do you want me to go over who was tested and all that?
Yeah.
All right. So there were 25 undercover testers, and New York State, for those of you that don't know, is a one-party. What do they call it? One-party recording. So like, if you want to record somebody, you don't need the other person's permission.
As long as if it's two people or more, if one person has the device that's recording, you don't need permission from the other party.
So there were 25 undercover trainers who were all actors. There were 93 real estate agents tested on Long Island, which it doesn't seem like a lot. I think it's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. But Long Island, the thing about it, it's not that long. It's longer than Manhattan. So what is 126 miles long? What is that? 30 something miles wide, right? Am I wrong? 36 miles wide.
I don't know.
But it's very vast. So having 96, while it's a lot, you could probably have done 200, 300.
So, and then there's 240 hours of meetings secretly recorded. 5,763 house listings were analyzed. Like I said earlier, it was a 3-year investigation by Newsday. And what they discovered, that there was unequal treatment 19% of the time against Asian Americans, 39% of the time against Hispanics, and 49% of the time against blacks. I mean, you can be on the other side, well, at least 51% weren't discriminated against.
That's a glass.
That's the both sidesism. You know, the
glass
Charlottesville.
half full.
No, that's the Charlottesville. It's good people on both sides.
Oh.
The majority of the people, 51% is the majority of time that it wasn't that. But it's like 49%
Mm-hmm.
and 19% Asian. I wonder if that number would be bigger if there were a higher population of Asian Americans on Long Island.
Right.
Like, what is it? Is it based on like I guess they say, if they say 19%, it's like how many? I'd like to know the number that they for each group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
What was
I
the
mean,
total breakdown?
At the end of the day, though, does it really matter?
No.
So, in the video, and I urge you all to go check it out. I'll post. I think I posted it on my personal Instagram page, but I will post it on the Yep Yeah Yes page, Yep Yeah Yes 18, so that you guys can check out the link or whatever. But I think the thing that was mostly telling is what I said earlier. It's like normal. Like, they were just the agents that were in the video.
The real estate agents, yeah.
It was just like, what? Like, they didn't even seem like they were struggling to like try. You know, it just seemed very like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
And then there was no comment. When they went back to them to find a comment, like, what is your, no comment. It was like only one person that wrote an email and was like, I'm not that guy.
But I said all that, but that's not me.
Right.
And but I want to clarify too, because just for people that are not aware, so this is our housing market, fair housing discrimination investigation, meaning you go to buy a house, you go to a real estate agent. That agent, in turn, takes what you are looking for and tries to siphon through the data mining process and then show you, based on their knowledge, what it is that you're looking for. So there was one tester that asked about, what did he say? What was his mother? Right, his mother was in assisted living and wanted to be close to her, but doesn't know the area.
Oh yeah.
And he happens to be a white male, and asked about a neighborhood. And in the video recording, she says, "Yep." Then texts him later without them being present with each other, and says, "I want you to look up the crime rate of this neighborhood."
Right.
And okay. But if that's what he wanted, but then
say that to the other person.
Right. So here's the thing.
That's the problem.
Now that's where the disparity comes in. Same real estate agent. Now a black guy comes up and asks about neighborhoods.
I think it was a Hispanic guy, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it was a black guy.
Maybe it was.
Black or Hispanic. Either way, it was a minority man. And she was, of the listings that she chose him, what was it? 7 listings happened to be in this said neighborhood that the other man specifically asked for.
Right, and she talked out of going there.
Right.
But this guy, was okay for him to go there.
Yeah, but it was okay for him to live there, and said nothing about gang violence.
Nothing. That's the part that was.
And
to
that's
me,
what we're talking about.
It's very telling in a lot of ways. I mean, number one, yes, there's gang violence and what have you. And we can speak to that and what brings about those kind of environments on another show. That has nothing to do with this.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
The point is that she's giving filtered information to one person that she's not sharing with another based on race.
On race. That's
and
exactly
it's very clear. It's not because of how he's dressed. It's not because of the economic background. They both show, each pair that went into this study all came in with the same exact background. They said that they made the same amount of money.
Right.
That they had the same marital, single, whatever status.
Right.
They came in with the exact same data.
Right.
So the only thing that you could use is race.
Right.
There was nothing that you could say like, well,
the white man specifically asked for this neighborhood. I don't believe the other guy did.
But we didn't see it.
But when we're comparing, he didn't ask for that specific neighborhood. He just said a general area.
Right.
She gave him listings in this specific neighborhood.
Yeah, I
more in that neighborhood than out.
I just thought it was very, very telling. And as goes with most people that are quote unquote caught, it's like no comment. All of a sudden, cat got your tongue. Where did that phrase come from?
Cat's got your tongue? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe during the Roman times when they used to fight lions. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm going to go on a diatribe, so let's not do that.
I have no idea.
I don't need a tangent right now.
So have you, knowing all this information, and you've been a homeowner, you are a homeowner, have you ever, do you recall in your past, I mean, you've also been in, not real estate, but mortgages. Do you recall any instances in your own past, personal or professional, where you saw that things looked looked like it was race-based?
This is such a hard thing to say, and it's not a hard pill to swallow, but it's a hard thing to realize where, like, I didn't know. I just didn't know. No, I have not. I've had people feel very comfortable on both sides of the spectrum, very comfortable to tell me how they feel. I've had,
like, what do you mean though?
I've had
I'm just gonna interrupt real quick, because in the study, the minorities, many of them said that they felt comfortable until they saw the footage back and realized they were treated different, because they were like so nice and whatever, and then they see the footage back and realize that their white counterpart was also treated nice and felt comfortable, but was given different information.
Well, so no, what I'm saying is, and this is where there's a disparity of my human condition, I guess I'll say. I've dealt with real estate agents coming to me as a loan officer, but then I also was a bank representative, so I have a few different perspectives. As a loan officer, I've had people come to me with stacks of loans to see if I can try to get something, because it's all numbers. And then, some real estate agents focus on towns, some will go anywhere that there's a dollar. So it all depends on, I guess, how they're running their business. But I've had people very comfortable to tell me that I only work with black people because this is my neighborhood, this is what I want here. I want to pick who lives in my neighborhood. I only like to work with...
Somebody in the video said that they oh no, it was a commenter, never mind. Commenter on the video, like you read the comments after, somebody said they're only trying to sell to white people. Oh. They specifically told their realtor, I don't want to be, even though they're moving out.
Yeah.
They want to preserve the whiteness.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've had people comfortable enough, but they didn't know who, they didn't have a proper conversation with me. They looked at me and saw what they wanted to see, and they felt comfortable. I've also been on the house hunting market, and what I've asked for, I've always gotten. But I think that the thing is, when they looked at me, they saw what they wanted, and they were comfortable. I've gone to higher neighborhoods, and I'm like, I want to look at a house here. They're like, well, these are all our listings. What's your price range? What can you afford? Have you spoken to? I work for a bank. I already know what I can get. This is my range. I want to see X, Y, and Z. And I got X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, D, E, F. I've even looked at commercial properties. Not that I look to waste their time, but shopping around for other things. And it's like they give me the conversation. Never once have they asked me, well, how are you going to afford this? How are you going to do that? When I ask questions, it's answered. I want to see this on Tuesday at 2. Oh, they said 2:30. No, I want 2. Let me get back to you.
So you can't relate to this as an Hispanic woman?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't be sure.
Yeah.
I've had. But you just said you've asked, and they said what is your such and such and such.
No.
How do you go ahead.
What I'm saying is, so if I say a certain neighborhood, they just want to know the price bracket they should look for houses.
No, but before you said they asked you about what can you afford, what that kind of thing.
Yeah, when I say I want to look in this neighborhood, like let's say.
But why should they ask you what can you afford? That was the whole point of this study. It's like, they're not asking the other people that?
No, they always ask you that because price points are so different in houses. The neighborhoods that I'm looking at, you can have 350 or you can have 650. Right. They want to know which houses they're looking to show me.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, only you can speak to your own experience. I think that, and like we said earlier, there's 51% of people that do not discriminate, but that's not who we're talking about.
Right.
Because 49%, 19%, and 39% are huge numbers.
Yeah.
They're huge. And
Yeah.
watching those videos, those clips, and seeing the disrespect and the unwillingness to even make a statement, either the broker or the company, that was even more telling to me.
Yeah.
When Coldwell Banker's like, well, we don't have a comment, we have to, or Laffey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That to me is like, oh, okay, so on a personal, I don't know if I want to, if I'm in the market, I don't know if I want to work with them, because they didn't even say, well, this person's been let go, we're looking into it. They're like, no comment. Oh, word? Okay.
Because it's common practice.
Right. So why would I, as a black woman, want to use them when you had no comment?
That's the thing. So what do you think, what would be a comment back that you'd be like, okay, maybe?
When you wouldn't brush it aside.
Okay.
Like, no comment. No comment to me is like, I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah.
They're about to release an investigative report that got national attention, so much so that you don't have to be a subscriber to Optimum to read it and view it. That means it's national. That means for them to put that and say the disclaimer, this is open to the entire public because of the amount of whatever. And everybody, like, Newsday is a big newspaper. Even though it's Long Island, it's a national. A lot, like, you can go other places.
But there's local Newsday.
It's a huge brand.
Yeah.
And so for them to be like, no comment, really? Okay.
What's your home buying experience? Can you speak on any of this?
It's not to this extent. The one time, which I was thinking about this, when I read the article. So I had this guy, and I told you about this. This guy was your real estate broker. And I told him I had in excess of $30,000 to purchase a home.
Right.
And he was like, no, you're not ready. He wouldn't even give me the time of day. He wouldn't set up an appointment with me. Like, nothing.
Yeah. I don't.
Like, I don't know if he thought I was joking. Like, he knew I wasn't joking, because he knew me well enough to know.
Right.
And then he's like friending me on social media, like,
no,
bro, you will never get my business.
No, we're done here.
And I'm pissed because, like, I in that moment I was ready.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, $30,000. I can put 20 down on a house and have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that to me is like, he didn't give me the time of day. The only other, I shouldn't say the only other, but one of the other experiences I had when me and you were looking at homes in the same neighborhood, Kings Park.
Yeah.
And the guy kind of gave us the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
And sold the homes.
Yeah.
And I
was in contract.
You were like far ahead in the game.
I was already in a contract, well into the contract, and he sent me back my escrow.
So that's that.
Yeah.
And then the other situation I have is not about buying a home, but when I was renting, I found an apartment that I liked online.
Right.
I went to a real estate rental broker.
Right.
And this particular company, they do just like houses. They have the building, the listings, and they drive you around to wherever you need to go.
Right.
And so we get in his car, and he starts taking me to places. I already saw the place that I wanted. The place I wanted, it didn't look that great, but I saw something.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I like the neighborhood. He starts driving me to all these other neighborhoods.
Oh.
And I was like, he's like, in this one, and
what is you doing?
I was like, no, okay, I really want to see the other one. He's like, we'll get to that. We walk inside. He's like, it just needs a lot of work. I don't know if this is like. I was like, no, I'll take it. He's like, no, well, what do you mean? And I was like, no, this is the one I want. He's like, but the other one is a little less expensive. It's closer to the Long Island Railroad. Like, I have a car. Like, I don't need you.
You don't know.
I don't need a whatever.
Wait, shut
so
up.
he was really trying to convince me not to. And then when I went to do the paperwork, the woman who was doing the paperwork, she said, we fought for you to have this apartment because your credit's not that good. Now I'm like, okay, so I'm giving you first, last, and current month's rent in excess of, at the time, it's like $3,500. And she's like, I fought for you. There's nothing that irks my mind.
I fought for you.
There's not. There's a lot of things that irk you. Yeah. But when you tell me you fought for me,
bitch,
ain't nobody asked you to fight for me. So then I move into the place, and my landlord was a white male, and is a white male. I assume he's still living. But he always dated girls that were as dark as me. So I wonder if race ever came into. You know what I mean? I don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
They were really trying to convince me.
I wonder if they knew something. Like, was it misconstrued? Did they know something that you didn't?
Right.
Like, oh, this poor girl.
But anyway, I ended up getting the place. But I felt like there were a few hurdles I had to jump through in order to get the place that was clearly listed on the site.
That's something that, like, listen, I'm fighting for the cause just like everybody else. Like, for real, I'm here for the culture. I promise you I'm here for the culture. But there are times now as an adult where I notice I step over to things where other people literally have to mountain climb.
I've been mountain climbing my entire life with everything. I'm not even like trying to be a jokester. Like, I feel like I gotta struggle with everything, and nothing bothers me. I keep saying nothing, but there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Another thing that bothers me is when somebody tries to tell me, well, it's easy. Really?
Shut the f up.
Really? Okay. The only thing I was gonna say the only thing that comes easy to me is sleeping, but bitch, my bed sucks. Okay?
Even that's having trouble.
I was trouble with that. It's crazy.
It's one of those, I don't know. I'm very grateful, and I do work hard. I also know that I do live in La La Land. I know that. There are a lot of things that I'm not aware of, but I am here for the culture. I'm fighting for the cause. I promise.
How are you fighting for the cause?
Because I'm here to represent something that people look at as a negative.
What do you mean?
Like, not everybody's going to look at a Hispanic girl from a broken home, you know what I mean, in a positive light.
You know, this makes me think. So, this is a little bit construed from what I was saying before. So I have this friend, and friend, if you're listening, please don't take this the wrong way. Please. I don't mean it that way. But I didn't know my friend was half Asian until I met her mother.
Huh?
Because she never was like, I'm Asian.
Oh, I wonder who you're talking about.
You know this person. This person doesn't have an Asian last name or first name. So I was like, okay. Like, she never talked about the Asian background or anything like that. And then, like, one day, I think, I don't remember if I was with you or someone else, went to the flea market and her mom was selling her wares. And I was like, what? I had no idea.
Are we talking about this?
And I don't know if she, like, and the other thing too, like, I had a conversation with her, like, not too long ago, and she said, please forgive me, like, I'm saying this, but like, she was just like, she without saying it, she considers herself white.
Really?
I don't know if she does or not. I'm just saying, in the midst of the conversation.
Okay.
And I've also had these conversations with you, where you've intimated, without saying you're white, you've been like, you've never said that you were white, but you've never, like, I'll make a joke, I'll be like, I don't know if you're just doing it because you know I'm joking, but like, you white people, and you won't be like, I'm not white, I'm Hispanic. If somebody was to call me like Dominican, like, bitch, I'm black.
I call you Dominican all the time because I think it's funny. No, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe because I know you're joking, but Because half the, like, I don't know.
But I don't think you go around letting people know you're Hispanic.
I sure do.
Unless somebody intimates
That
that
I'm
there's something that you're something else, or there's something wrong with being Hispanic, or makes a statement about Hispanic people. But it's not like you wear it on your arm.
I don't think, does anybody really? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you look at them like, oh, that bitch is Puerto.
But see, here's the thing though, that's something that I can't help. I look the way I look.
It's not. I'm not talking about your. I'm talking about the being, the essence of who you are.
I'm about to get offended.
The
essence of who I am is exactly.
I look at Jennifer Lopez. It's like that bitch is Puerto Rican. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? There's certain people you're just like. There's no question. You look at you. You're like, she white, Greek, Italian, Puerto Rican. If Jennifer Lopez was to change her look to be more Eurocentric, I believe people would question what she is. You know, there's certain people you look at and you're like,
how is my look?
Because you come from a long line of assimilators on one side of your family.
You're about to get cold clots.
You know that's true.
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay. If I offended you, I hate when people say I apologize for offending you but it is what it is. It's my experience with you where I feel like you've never gone out of your way to say to but you are who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are. But there's certain people that you look at them and you're like, that mofo Puerto. Or that mofo is whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I'm saying with my friend, there was no indication.
I wonder if I'm thinking about the same person, because I feel like my encounter with that person was always one side. I was flabbergasted when I found out the other side for some reason.
What do you mean?
The person that I'm thinking of is Asian on one side and then something on the other. The something on the other, I was like, word? Really? Because I feel
you
like
always
the conversation,
knew the person was Asian?
The conversations we've always had was like, in this place, yeah.
I never, see, I don't recall, I'm telling you. Maybe because I didn't focus on it. I have no idea. Or it's just like, people make jokes, you're like, my mom likes like Korean beef, or my mom likes sushi, or if you're like, say you're Puerto Rican, my mom likes to make, rice and beans, everybody eats that. What's the Puerto Rican dish? Arroz con pollo. My mom likes arroz con pollo. I'd be like, oh, wait, you're Spanish? Because you don't gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm black, I'm not gonna be like, my mother tears up that arroz con pollo. I'm not gonna be like, I'm only gonna say that if she's Spanish. If
like I've said before, I can't control how you view me. I can only control what I put out there.
I know this to be true because there's other people that I have encountered that didn't know you were Spanish until I said it. Said you were Spanish.
Yes.
Really? Yes.
Who is this?
Doesn't matter.
People I know?
Yes. People, unless you tell them. And then it's like, she's Puerto Rican. Oh really? Oh, the white girl? Yes.
What?
But you don't go around with a badge saying I'm Puerto Rican.
But who does though?
A lot of people do.
Okay.
A lot of people, but it's not just Puerto Rican, whatever nationality, whatever they want to. There's people that walk around, whatever it is, gender, whatever. Mm-hmm. There's people around that you don't know they're gay, but until they walk around with a badge of honor. And you're like I had a friend who was gay, and I was like, I think he's gay. But he's not like trying to let everybody know he was gay. And then one day, he's like, I'm gay. And I was like, I knew it.
Like, I already know that.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's certain people that wear that badge with pride.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that people that don't have the same amount of pride.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they ain't trying to be out there, smacking their lips and shit. I'm this, I'm that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I say that all to say that sometimes when you can go into a place of business, and people can view you one way. Mm-hmm. You've said this with your friend.
I just said that.
I know. Yeah. So you're sitting here being surprised.
I'm surprised that of what you're saying right now, that Because what I'm getting from what this essay in conclusion,
you should see her shake her head and roll her eyes.
With your essay,
no, she's like, see, I am Puerto.
Just shut up. With your essay, what you're saying was that I'm not outwardly expressive of being Puerto Rican, but also by looking at me that I have assimilated to something that you don't define as being Puerto Rican.
It's not about being, I shouldn't say that I don't define as being Puerto Rican. There are people that go around and let people know, like you have an aunt. Every chance she gets, she's telling people she's Puerto Rican. Without even nobody telling, nobody said nothing.
Nobody asked you.
Nobody asked
like,
you.
That guy wasn't even talking to you.
The only time you ever say you're Puerto Rican is somebody challenge it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If somebody's like, oh, you look Greek, I'm Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
And that's every Puerto Rican I know, like, shouted from the rafters, I am me. What, you got a problem with that? There's certain other Puerto Ricans, nobody asked you. All right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I digress. But I say all that to say that sometimes if you can go into establishment, what you've said you've done, and nobody even realizes it, unless they maybe see your last name.
Not even with that.
I have no idea.
It's so generic. But
I don't think it's generic.
But it doesn't really, I don't think it falls in line with anything.
What do you mean?
It's not like...
What doesn't fall in line with anything?
Like, we'll use Jennifer Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to not see the last name Lopez and be like, I wonder if she's Greek.
But even her persona, I don't see her as anything else. If somebody told me she was Greek, it's like, that bitch ain't Greek. She lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of somebody that can be who is Hispanic, and you just look at them and you're like, you're surprised. You can look and you're like, you're surprised or you're not surprised. Is there anybody that you can think of, a celebrity that people would know? When you found out, you're like,
really? Which I still question, like Christina Aguilera.
And you know what? But me, same here. With me, it never dawned on me that her name was Aguilera. That it should be like Spanish.
Yeah.
She like super exceeded the last name. I wasn't even like thinking to myself, oh wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But when you look black like me, dark as me, bitch, I'm one thing. Unless I'm in a cab and you Jamaican, West Indian.
Yeah.
Where you from? Where your people from?
Which are people always asking you?
Anyway, one of the things too, as I kind of wrap this up a little bit with the Long Island thing, it spun me into a thing where I was trying to figure out, okay, moving a little bit away from the real estate thing, the real estate aspect in terms of realtor, I should say. But then when I started looking into like the top places on Long Island to live.
Right.
And the number one on Long Island was Jericho, New York. And I was like, Jericho?
Yeah.
That was like, if I had to pick any place on Long Island,
like Jericho?
That wouldn't have been my top 10.
Yeah.
And then I started to dig deeper and wonder to myself, like, do I know black people that live there?
In Jericho?
Yeah.
Do you?
No. I don't know people that live there.
I don't know people.
The only thing I know about Jericho is the businesses. I don't,
Yeah. I don't know anybody who lives there.
And then like Great Neck, for me, I always considered Great Neck because the people that I met there from Great Neck,
right?
They were like the same type of people that live in Shirley.
Right? How did that, right?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. It's very hard to like, for people who don't live here, it's very hard to like describe what we're talking about, but yeah.
So when they said Great Neck was like the top 5, number 2 place on Long Island,
like, oh, I'm
like, okay.
Oh, okay.
But then it's Great Neck Gardens.
Oh.
So one of the things too that was very telling in that documentary or project, whatever,
right,
is that there's been this years long effort to steer Hispanic people to Huntington.
To Huntington?
Yes. Did you see that part?
I did not.
It's overwhelming. And I was like, my family, they've all been like, all these Spanish people moving in here because they're steering them there.
Why, I wonder?
I don't know.
That's really interesting.
Huntington Station is becoming predominantly Hispanic. I don't know the last time you've been in Huntington, but even if you drive around, you start to notice more local Hispanic businesses, which is fine. But it's these realtors and companies or whatever. They're obviously doing their company's bidding.
But I'm wondering if it has to do with the school services. Like, do they have a really good ELL program?
Do you think realtors are steering Hispanic people, there because of services?
It could be.
I don't agree. I don't think so.
If it's in the best interest of the client, no, absolutely not.
That's what I mean.
I think if they find out that they have like a program designed for, English to speakers of other languages.
Yeah, but did that program come before or after they started steering people there?
That's what the question is. So did that? I don't know. It's the chicken before the egg thing.
I believe those programs came after. I've lived in Huntington my entire life, and the makeup. Like, it's just crazy. It's completely flipped. My own street, which is fine. I have no problem with it. But then when you see something like this, where people are purposefully creating neighborhoods based on their own biases, it's a problem.
But I wonder why. Interesting. I wonder why Huntington, like, of the places to pick.
Interesting enough, too, they didn't say Hale site. They didn't say Villages of Huntington.
They
Centerport,
Huntington,
and all those border villages. They didn't mention those places. You know what I'm saying?
My mind went to a place that I will not vocalize.
Why? What do you mean?
Because I'm curious if it's one of those like, well, we have these houses that need people to clean them. Let's keep them close together.
Yeah, that's girl. I wasn't even thinking that way, but nothing shocks me anymore.
No,
nothing.
Unfortunately,
I'm reminded of Kelly Osbourne when she was on The View, and that was pretty much the last time we saw of her.
Mm-hmm.
When she was saying something.
Oh, who's gonna clean your bathroom?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, no.
It's like,
no.
Like, who says
who's
that?
Gonna clean
and
your
the whole
bathroom?
audience gasps because it's like that wasn't.
They're like, oh, you got goodbye.
You're canceled for real.
Yeah.
Now she's talking about they want to do an Osbourne reboot. She's like, we're all in a different place now.
Whatever.
That to me is white privilege.
Do you know she was just on The Masked Singer?
Oh, was she?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's switch to.
Yep, that's trending.
Today's topic is, I don't know, what do I call it? Betting on yourself. That's
Thank
it.
you. I was about to say you had a good name for it.
Betting on yourself. Sorry, I couldn't remember. So yeah, today's topic is betting on yourself, and two people that come to mind: Colin Kaepernick, who's just in the news, and Kylie Jenner, who's just in the news. Colin for choosing to believe that his skill set would help to gain a spot on a football club, in spite of the fact that he shunned said football clubs. And Kylie selling 49%,
51% majority share,
51% of Kylie Cosmetics
to the company that owns.
Who gives a shit?
Oh, sorry, but it's for $600 million.
$600 million. I would say it was a bad deal if she had sold the entire company for $600 million. But the fact that she can still continue, like with her 49%. Yeah.
But she's no longer majority shareholder, so she no longer has the deciding factor, unless that was part of the deal for a certain de facto amount of time. But I highly doubt that.
No, but I'm regardless of all that, it's like her check is still going to be good. She still gets.
Yeah.
And it would behoove them to keep her in the business. Because the minute she leaves, ain't nobody, like, she's still going to be working apparently in the company as a figurehead,
yeah,
whatever.
She's still going to be doing everything, but to pay for the promotion that they're getting.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you think she betting on yourself, do you think she made the right decision?
Absolutely. She has the opportunity to walk away, because this is the thing when it comes to celebrity sort of brands like this, there's a life cycle. She's at the peak, she's sold at the peak, and if the life cycle goes down or sideways or left or right, she's still winning.
Gosh.
She's able to walk away with a plethora of options.
She's good.
Like you look at Jennifer Lopez, she's still trying to hawk her makeup line. That
Is
shit
she?
Ain't no,
She got a makeup line?
She got a makeup line. That shit ain't nowhere.
She ain't promoting it either, though.
No.
Whereas you got Rihanna, who
Fenty, but
that's all she does.
That's
is
an
promote it.
empire.
But
That
she
is an
but
empire.
that empire came quickly too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Rihanna's empire grew quicker than Kylie's in the sense that Rihanna came out of nowhere with it.
Yeah. She
Where
said I'm
Kylie,
doing
that was her
something-
thing for years and years, like the lip kit thing and all that. She got the lips done, and then it's like, oh, let me do a lip kit.
I think the thing what was so and this is why I think Fenty Beauty has more staying power than Kylie Cosmetics, because the Kylie Cosmetics is founded and grown based on a celebrity persona.
Right.
Where Fenty Beauty came out the gate with like, no, this I've been working.
This
I
is
studied.
for the people.
This is for the people, and 46 undertones.
Right.
46 undertones, not shades.
And
46 undertones.
And I believe the people that who are going to buy Fenty are going to buy it because of the makeup. Whereas Kylie, they're buying it because let me see how Kylie looks.
Yeah.
Like you said, the celebrity factor. Even though they're both celebrities,
but it's just
their niche is different. It was crazy.
46
So, and they both bet on
undertones.
themselves. They both bet on themselves.
Yeah.
And we just see, it's a marathon, as they said.
It's a marathon.
We'll see who wins the race.
And then who else
but
is
they're not
hawking?
in competition.
Well, who else? Who else is hawking makeup? But we have
Everybody
to,
and their mother is hawking
But we
makeup.
have to bow down, bitches. I will say, I in my opinion, you're probably gonna think of somebody else. But the only other celebrity makeup person that I can think of that did it first was Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, she
did desserts.
She did a good job, but
desserts didn't work out because the quality and the formulas were.
But the thing about it too, the focus was on her.
Yeah.
That is where you fall.
And then
you start to fall, your shit starts to fall.
Yes, and then once you started doing the clothing line, and that the focus wasn't on her, it was on the product. Now she's $1 billion business.
And if you look at other celebrities too, like you look at Ciroc, we all know that's Diddy's thing, but we're not buying it because of Diddy. We're like, ooh, they got the grape.
Yeah.
Oh, they got the water.
Yeah.
Like and the shit's good.
Yeah.
So if Diddy goes through this whole whatever, I'm still getting Ciroc.
Casamigos.
Right. A lot of people don't even know.
Yeah, Georgia Clooney.
You know, but and what's her name's husband? Randy Gerber.
Yeah.
Cindy Crawford's husband. So it's like, when you can create a brand outside of who you are, that's where I think maybe with this partnership that Kylie has entered into,
right,
they can start to move away from her.
Right.
And focus more on the brand.
Yeah.
I don't know how successful that's going to be.
Yeah.
Because you just, even, like, I'm not trying to buy it. Like, it's like, when I think of it, I'm like, I don't really wear makeup. I don't wear makeup.
Yeah.
I wear chapstick, lip gloss, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to buy, like, my idea of buying her is like, I'm supporting her.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm getting Rihanna, I'm like,
Fenty.
she made it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different. I don't know. It's crazy. So the other person that bet on themselves, I don't know if you know it, with the Colin Kaepernick. So the NFL scheduled this impromptu. First of all, they scheduled this what do you call it? A workout for the NFL. He found out about it the same time we did.
Oh.
They put the statement on social media, and he was like, I just found out. They didn't contact him or nothing. And they told him to do it on a Saturday. Saturday is a day when teams are typically flying to where they're playing the next day.
Okay.
So the best workout days are Tuesdays.
Oh.
There's no games on Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's like it's a rest day.
Okay.
All right. So Wednesday they start practice. Thursday sometimes there's games. Friday there's practice. You know, that kind of thing. So Tuesday is the best day. So anyway, long story short, NFL scheduled it for Saturday. And Colin's team was like, no, that's not good for us to let. Oh, well, this is the day. So he said, okay. And then I guess some things came down the last minute, supposedly according to Colin's team, with the contract, where contract stipulated that he wouldn't sue There's like all this stuff in there that was not in a normal contract.
Okay.
So he was like, I'm not going to do it. And they wouldn't provide him with his own receivers, which are important. It's like if you're a tap dancer, you want your own shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's plain and simple. If I'm a writer, I want my own computer. I don't want some fucking
if you're performing,
Chromebook.
It's the material,
Right.
the pitch, and the key that you choose. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were saying no to that. And then the last thing he wanted, which was the straw that broke the camel's back, was he wanted media there.
Okay.
And that's where he lost a lot of people. People came for him and against him. So much so that the lines were divided. It seemed to be on race. So black people that didn't support him, so many other people, black commentators that didn't support him, they were they were being called sellouts, coons, canceled.
Wow.
Yeah, it became very bad. And people, the people that did support him were like blind. So knowing all this, what I just told you, and it's a summary.
Right.
Do you think he made the right choice to go? He actually ended up doing the workout, not at the facility that the NFL had set up, but at a local high school 60 miles away.
Okay.
Less than an hour away.
Right.
And the NFL had 25 teams represented in Atlanta, where it was going to be, and only 9 showed up at the high school.
All you need is one.
But my thing is,
yeah.
But my thing is like, so you never really, if you really wanted to see him work out, you would have went the 60 miles.
Yeah.
You was
60 or 16?
60.
Oh.
Less than an hour. But you flew to Atlanta.
But yeah.
To see him.
That's like Long Island to Manhattan.
Right.
If you really wanted to be there, you would have been. It could have been there. 60 or 600. If you wanted to be there, you would have been there.
So you telling me that? So what is that? 16 person teams decided not to make the trek, but the other 9 did. I call bullshit. They never had any intention of signing him.
Right.
If you
so now
really
what's
had
the outcome? Has anyone decided to extend an invitation?
No. No, they basically said his career's over. He's screwed the NFL. He's this, that, and the other, and he bet on himself, and it didn't work.
Okay.
But my thing is like, and then if you see the footage, he was throwing bombs.
Oh,
it's
he
like
was?
55 yards.
Wait, bombs
like
as in good?
He's throwing really good. Like imagine,
what the hell?
Yeah, imagine like 55 yards, like on the half-yard line past the goal line.
Half-yard. Wow.
So you figure 50. You know what I'm saying? He was just throwing the whatever.
He was doing good.
He was doing really good. Like he should be playing right now, but people said that he was disrespectful and he don't deserve to play. He shunned his nose at the NFL.
But you could cold clock your lady in a Vegas elevator and drag her out like a piece of trash and still play.
In all fairness, he didn't play. That guy didn't play.
But he played after.
No, he didn't play.
He's never played since?
He hasn't played since, no.
Oh.
Once the video came out. Prior to the video, it was like two sides.
Got it.
Like he was still with his wife.
Okay.
So she never pressed. And then the video came out from the hotel, and they were like, a better example is there was a guy who beat his kid with a switch.
Right, I remember that.
He's still playing right now.
Right.
And then you got Michael Vick.
Right. Who
went to jail for 2 years.
Right.
For the dogs.
And then
there's a lot of, I'm just saying.
So hold on. So Colin Kaepernick, the consensus is that he disrespected the NFL.
First, he disrespected the flag.
By
kneeling.
No, but let's take that away. Let's take that away.
Well, they're trying to bring that into the equation. Bring it back. You can't let that go without.
Okay. So he disrespected the flag.
According to them.
With his constitutional right to a peaceful protest.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. Wait, let me
any serviceman will say, I fought for your right to do this.
To do that, yeah.
Any sane serviceman. I shouldn't say all.
Right, no, right.
Man
right.
or woman.
Correct. So he's disrespected the flag by his constitutional right to a peaceful protest to bring equality towards the
Black and brown people of the United States of America.
with the armed police force. Okay, and then he didn't want to. They couldn't agree on a contract for a workout to show that he's been up in his game. That he did in the town that was said, but he did it anyway in a town in the state that was said, but 60 miles away.
Right.
And apparently he performed really well, but he was still disrespectful.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh no, that totally makes sense though.
Yeah.
No, totally.
So that's where betting on himself failed, because people he never had a chance.
Yeah.
That's what it, to me, that's what
It
it
was
came.
stacked against him. But
They
now,
just did that basically for their own goodness. They were never going to give him a contract, and now they're trying to blame it on Jay-Z.
What?
Because Jay-Z is now with the NFL, and so they're trying to say that Jay-Z talked the NFL into giving him this workout, and they were never going to do it. Which I believe Jay-Z might have had something to do with it.
Okay.
But
So hold on a second. So now what's okay?
it's crazy.
All right, we got past all this, and somehow Jay-Z's involved. Okay, but I don't know. Maybe they were in an elevator together. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
So here's the thing.
You saw Beyonce's $1 billion pocketbook?
Yes.
This
Yes.
chick.
I love it.
Didn't she take the pictures in the elevator? No.
Yep.
Did she really?
I think she did.
It
Wasn't it a warehouse elevator?
yeah.
A lift? I have to say this. Nobody does shade like Beyonce, and I bow down, bitches. So hold on a second. So what does the athletic viewing community view all this as? What's the general consensus?
People that were for Colin remain for him. People that were against him remain against him.
So nothing has changed?
Nothing's changed.
Okay.
The only thing that has changed, and you can look at it one way or the other, C, he never wanted to play. Or C, they never wanted him to play.
Okay. Yep. All right.
So
All right.
before we leave, I want us each to give an example of a time where we bet on ourselves and it either worked or it didn't. You go first.
Oh. Maybe. I have no idea.
Do you bet on yourself?
I have no idea.
You bet on yourself all the time.
Oh, I do?
You make a decision. You're like, no, you know what? I'm going to do this for myself. And I believe that the outcome is going to yield the results that I want.
But then it doesn't. That's
Or it
the whole
doesn't.
thing.
That's-
But it doesn't.
Or it does or it doesn't. I mean, you know.
Oh, this is okay. So it's kind of this is odd. So I lived with an aunt for high school, and it just was not a very healthy situation. I left,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I could live on my own and go to school. I got this. No, I did not have this. I did not have this in the slightest. I needed to put school on pause
Mm-hmm.
because I wasted a lot of money and everybody's time. And so that didn't work out. When I finally was like, all right, girl, your big girl panties is on now. Let's get this shit together. I worked it out. But at the time, I was
Right.
like so confident in myself. But it was like, oh no, honey.
Not so much.
You should have just, yeah, not so much.
I think with me, I've mentioned it before, where I quit a job without having, not a part-time, I had nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I'm gonna get, I'm
gonna
be
get
good.
something, yeah.
And I got something.
No,
And it
but we're
turned out
talking
to-
about, no, but your question was, and it didn't work
No,
out.
I'm about to say.
Oh, okay.
And then I had a situation where similar to you, I was living in a certain situation, and I was like, I'll just leave. And that night I slept in my car. Okay.
But you made a point.
I made a point,
You
but
made
it's
a
like
point.
I bet on I'm gonna be good, and I was not good. I was sneaking
Wasn't that
into my
great?
dad's house every day, taking showers while I was
Oh,
at work.
wasn't that great? I remember.
And I remember your boo, who became your dude.
Uh-huh.
He was like cleaning my car or something, and he asked you, is she sleeping in her car? Like, no. Meanwhile, I got a makeshift bed in my trunk.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I remember I had to beg you to move in with me. Beg.
you didn't have to beg me.
I did.
No,
You're
you
like,
did.
this ain't gonna work out. And I'm like, homie, please. I'm begging you. Just please. No, this ain't gonna work out. Please? Best roommate ever. I loved it. I miss it. I miss it so much.
It was fun while it lasted.
She was fun as fuck. I missed it.
But I was always on edge. That was the problem. It was fun when I didn't allow myself to get in my head and feel like I was
but
in the way.
but that was you,
Right.
not me. But we all get in our own heads at sometimes. But I have nothing but like that's the funnest shit as fuck, and I miss it. I miss it so much. Just like the impromptu things that we would constantly do. I just miss like walking into your room. Good morning. Opening your blinds.
You know what I miss the most? I miss like cooking together.
Yeah.
I miss like making snacks and
Yeah.
going to watch a movie.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm good.
And we tried to buy houses next door to each other.
I know.
Trying to keep this shit rolling.
Yeah, mofos trying to keep us apart. We shouldn't be friends right now. But you know, mofos
I bet on you,
can't
baby.
stop what was supposed
Always
to be.
bet on black.
Yeah, I bet on my friend. That's right. I bet on.
Well, homie,
Yeah.
I love you.
Mhm.
You're perfect.
Mhm.
Now change. No. Remember that
was a-
off-Broadway
yeah.
show?
I think it was a book.
It was a book, or was it a show, then a book, show, book?
Something like that.
All I know is that we went to go see it.
Yeah, that was
It
good.
was kind of funny.
Anyway.
All right, homie, I love you.
Wait, where can they catch us?
Yep, yeah, yes, 18. Instagram and Twitter. The Yep, yeah, yes podcast on Facebook. All your streaming devices will have us for the podcast portion of the show.
So, I was putting together a mini commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I played it. And it's on Instagram now when I put the clip together.
Yeah.
And you're like, motherfucker, whatever the hell you
Every
said.
fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're like, Alexa, play TuneIn. Why my Alexa came on? It's like playing the Yep Yeah Yes podcast. I was like, oh shit, Alexa, stop. Alexa, home. Yeah, I said stop, and she's like, and welcome to. I'm like, Alexa, home. It's ridiculous. That thing will pick up everything. Sometimes I'm watching TV and it picks it up. Like it says it's a little. You know,
I've had to unplug mine because it's like, no, I don't know. I'm not asking that.
But you can change the home word.
Oh.
You know? Yeah. You can change the home word. I just have not.
Neither
You
have
can,
I.
you know, you can change it to whatever you want it to be.
Oh.
Anywho, but yeah,
Oh.
you can catch us everywhere, including TuneIn. All right, Holmes.
I love you.
Love you too. Bye, y'all.
Bye.